They made Mount Rushmore for car modelers. Who would be on it? Well, that's the question for today. Welcome to the Model Room. I recently read an article about Kevin Harvick's selection for Mount Rushmore if it had been made for NASCAR drivers. And that was interesting. And there have been some other people in different walks of life that have kind of thought about that idea in whatever their endeavors are. And it got me to thinking, what about car modelers? If car modelers were on Mount Rushmore, who would it be? Who would I nominate for that? And I'm interested in your thoughts as well. So I'm throwing it out as a question for the community. Who do you think should be on Mount Rushmore if it was made for modelers? Here's what I think. Number one, Dave Schuchless. I think we all know the Dave Schuchless story. As a young man, he suffered from neuromuscular disease. That didn't stop him from making amazing models. He built them laying on the carpet in his parents' living room. And of course, those cars ended up in Car Model magazine back in the very early days, the early 60s. And I think they inspired us all. In point of fact, he was probably the first one to put working lights in a car model. He made a folding convertible top. He did just totally amazing things. And he showed us as young people that we could cut up a model, make it into something different, customize it, or do whatever. He really taught us, and certainly you could consider him a pioneer. He was tremendously influential and also an excellent modeler, and I think Dave Schuchless should be on that mountain. Number two would be Jim Keeler. Another pioneer. Jim went to work for Revell when he was 19 years old. I think that was 1960 or 61. And if it hadn't been for Jim, I think the direction of models might have been different over the years. He introduced Big Daddy Ed Roth to Revell and got those custom cars made into model kits. He was also very well tuned into the car culture in Southern California in those days, and that shows up in the models that he designed as well. After that, he went to work for Aurora, and some people don't know this, but he went to work also for Boeing at a later date. And he was making models for their wind tunnel, very important work. Two-thirds of a century later, he's still doing it, and he is designing models, and there are model kits now being produced by Atlantis called Keeler's Customs. Jim is a great guy, and certainly an important figure in our hobby, so he goes on the mountain too. Number three, and this is a personal selection, but I think it counts. You know, it's not necessarily the best modeler. Oh, this guy's a good modeler. But I think that I would nominate Gary Schmidt. Back in the 80s, he created Scale Auto Enthusiast magazine, and I think that got a lot of us involved again in modeling, and it certainly was the glue that held that hobby together back in the day. We all pretty much read SAE, and it had wonderful articles, it had good opinions, it had all kinds of ideas. It brought a new generation of modelers together. So to me, Gary Schmidt is a pioneer of this industry, and he belongs on the mountain as well. The last one was kind of difficult for me because this is a person who was a good writer, also an excellent modeler for many, many generations, many decades, and he absolutely, I believe, deserves to be in this list. But it was kind of close because there are other people that I also consider to be kind of legendary and very important to the hobby. I had to pick one, so I picked the most prolific writer that you can think of, and that's Tim Boyd. Tim goes way back. He entered the contest for building a Mopar model back in 1968, came in fourth. He was behind Jim Keeler's Dodge Fever, which is a tremendously iconic model in our hobby. And ever since then, he's been doing amazing and wonderful work and writing about it for years and years. I've met him. He's a great guy and very approachable. And of course, I think that his articles really kept us interested and kept us going through the years as we grew as older modelers. So that's my four. And you can only have four. I could put a dozen, 2 dozen more on that mountain if I was allowed to, but that's the rule. Four people on the mountain. But tell me what you think. Either leave a comment, do a video, whatever. Who do you believe should be the car modeler on Mount Rushmore? I'd be really interested. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.